In our fifth episode of Talk It Out Tuesday, we are talking about the impact of the pandemic on our frontline healthcare workers. This episode is dedicated to you. You are truly the heroes in our community, and we absolutely want to be there for you in all capacities. And to the outside observer, healthcare workers, they look strong and resilient in the face of these threats as they go to work every day. You take great personal risk to keep others safe, and we greatly appreciate everything that you do. But we also recognize that this toll has a great impact on our frontline workers. This impacts you, and that is why we're doing this episode today, because we want to make sure that we're there for you. And today with us, we are excited to have to speak on this topic Dr. Allison Netsky with UNLV's School of Medicine. Dr. Netsky is the chair of UNLV's Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Health. And also along with us today is our Crisis Support Services of Nevada's Executive Director, Rochelle Pellessier. Thank you both for being here. Recently, it seems that every time we turn around, we're hearing heartbreaking stories about how this pandemic is impacting our frontline workers, our healthcare professionals, and in some cases, unfortunately, it is even related and resulted in suicide. Can you help us understand what these frontline workers are facing during this pandemic?
Well, thanks, Connie. I'm happy to be here to be able to share some information today. Healthcare workers, as we know, aren't just doctors. They include a number of professionals, including nurses, paramedics, respiratory technicians, patient transporters, food service staff, and others that are critical as part of the healthcare team. As a group of healthcare providers, we are generally pretty good about putting the needs of other people ahead of our own, skipping meals, taking on extra shifts, sleeping less, and oftentimes neglecting our mental health needs in order to keep on the mission and take care of folks. What people are experiencing now are heightened levels of anxiety, similar to what you might experience kind of going into a battle. This coronavirus is impacting us in various ways. And unfortunately, right now, there's no place, if you're a healthcare worker, to really see where the end is or be able to escape this. So increased symptoms of anxiety, insomnia, at times depression, hopelessness, fear for family members, suicidal thoughts. While caring for people in the hospital, what we've also found is that there's real gaps because there's no visitors allowed in the hospitals right now, not just for patients who are battling COVID, but also for people who are there because they've had a stroke or they've had a heart attack or for other things. So healthcare workers are filling in that gap of being that extra support person for people who've just been diagnosed with another very difficult to manage illness. And then on top of that, right, you have to take care of your family and your kids, and you're worried about the impact of this on other family and friends.
One of the things that we're also seeing, because we're getting a lot of calls from frontline healthcare workers, as Allison talked about, that they are helping someone while their whole family is in the middle of this same crisis. So like all crisis workers, usually we're helping someone, but we're not in the middle of that crisis. And when we're in the middle of the crisis too, it makes it twice as stressful to really look at the patient in this case and concentrate on them when in the background you're worrying about everyone in your family also. And the idea that most of these frontline workers have to isolate from their families while they're helping out others is very stressful and very hard on these workers.
Dr. Netsky, those of us who may have a family member or a friend who is experiencing these traumatic circumstances, what can we do to support those individuals?
The number one thing is reach out to people. The power of asking somebody, how are you doing? Being a good listener, appreciating that you don't have to fix somebody's problems, but being a support, just listening, reaching out, acknowledging their feelings, reaching out and saying, I can't wait till I can spend time with you again. Maybe we can have a FaceTime coffee this weekend, or maybe we can connect somewhere with lunch, whether it's in person or somewhere else, sending them humorous messages or, heartwarming, feel good kinds of messages gives somebody back that part of their life that they're missing all day long when they're working with folks. And it's the part that is really important. In addition, I would say what I would ask people to try to avoid doing is reaching out to any healthcare worker and complaining or asking them about the coronavirus. When is the quarantine going to end? Why is this happening? How come there's not a vaccine? Why can't doctors figure this out again? And using them as an outlet to be able to air all of your own fears and anxieties. It's very common to reach out to doctors and nurses that to get medical advice, which is perfectly fine. But at this time, I think we need to turn the tables a little bit and appreciate that we can do a lot to be supportive.
When Dr. Netsky and I talked a couple days ago, we talked about issues like people ostracizing the frontline medical workers, also being worried that if you get around them that they're contagious and they're going to pass off the disease, and the feeling of loneliness that causes for our frontline workers. Like Dr. Netsky talked about, reaching out, doing a Zoom video, telling them how much you care for them, and asking if there's anything you can do to help them and their families. All of those things that we do in regular life that we seem to have stopped doing because we're all scared.
If you were to speak to a fellow healthcare professional that was experiencing these issues and struggling right now with hopelessness, what would you say to them directly? And what would you like to see them do to help themselves?
One of the first things I would say is you matter. And we are here to help you, to help pull you through this very difficult time. And at some point, just like you're helping others, you deserve to have, some help and have the ability to reach out and have people take care of you during difficult times.
I want to remind the families and loved ones of our frontline medical workers that you too can call Crisis Support Services of Nevada. When your family member or loved one is in this kind of crisis, that's a crisis for you. And we can help you to help your loved one. Call in, we'll support you, we'll help you to know how to talk to your loved one, and we will also give you the information that you can give to your loved one when they need to reach out.
Dr. Netsky, do you feel that I guess you could call this the silver lining, that we're really starting to understand the importance of mental health, not just for those that are outside of the medical field, but now that we know the impact that this is having on our medical workers, are we going to see a silver lining in the sense that we're really going to start to see a change in acknowledging that mental health is something we do need to take seriously as a nation?
Connie, I'm glad that you brought that up. We really have an opportunity right now to be proactive. We didn't have much of a chance to plan for this pandemic, but some of the aftermath of it, one of which is going to be a lot of mental health fallout for all people, including healthcare workers, is going to be very important. Hopefully, part of the result of that is going to be a decrease in the stigma that sometimes is associated with mental health problems, especially in professionals. One thing that I've seen personally has really been a call to action from many professional organizations, the American Medical Association, American Psychiatric Association, and many others, to say, hey, we need to take care of each other. This is a big deal. We need to start putting a lot of innovative mechanisms in place to be able to reach our healthcare workers where they're at, whether it's fire and rescue, EMS, physicians, nurses, by in-person, video chat, text lines, crisis lines, so that we can really reach people where they are at right now. And so my hope is that this will continue to pick up steam, and we can really start to shift the tide and mental health problems being marginalized so that people can receive improved services.
I think that's the perfect message, especially now with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, that we do take that away from this horrible pandemic that we're dealing with, that all of us as human beings absolutely need to focus and deal with our mental health and need to be able to talk about it freely and address it just like we would a physical health issue.
Do you have any advice to these healthcare workers about what they could be doing right now to really give themselves that strength so that they can deal with these challenges right now and in the future as well?
It's important for healthcare workers to recognize these services are here for them. If you think you need to reach out, that you should. And the crisis support resources are here to help you get through a rough day, a difficult patch. They are also a link to get you to the next step.
You don't have to be in a suicidal crisis to reach out. Please think about reaching out when you're just having a bad day, so that we can alleviate some of the issues before it does get to an imminent risk kind of crisis.
As Rochelle had stated, there is always someone there that is listening 24/7. You can contact CSSNV at any time, 1-800-273-8255. You can also text CARE to 839863. And you can also visit their website at cssnv.org. And please remember that Crisis Support Services of Nevada is a charitable organization. They're helping all of Nevadans and people across our nation. So please consider making a donation to the organization on their website, which you can visit at cssnv.org. Thank you again to Dr. Allison Netsky, UNLV School of Medicine, for joining us on this episode of Talk It Out Tuesday. And again, thank you to you, the frontline workers, our first responders, our medical professionals. You are the heroes of our community, and we hope that you understand that this episode is about you and that you know that there is always someone listening, and we greatly appreciate everything that you've done in our community to keep us safe and keep us healthy, to take care of family members when we weren't able to be there. You truly are the heroes of our community. Also, just remember to be here again. We'll be doing another episode of Talk It Out Tuesday next Tuesday. Thank you for joining us.